welcome back to another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show. And today we're going to talk about possibly my favorite Australian metal album. I didn't think I had one, but then when I thought about it, I was like, actually, you know what? I really love this record. And just the other day, I was talking to this guy and he reminded me of this album, which I realized I hadn't heard in about a year. And I was like, you know what? That is probably my favorite metal album. And so I revisited it again this week. I put it on and I cranked it up and just remembered how amazing this album is. I'm talking, of course, about HOBBS Angel of Death. HOBBS Angel of Death came out in 1988. And I remember at the time I bought a copy of it on vinyl and it was signed on the back by the four members of the band. Now, I bought it from Veranda Music in Adelaide. It was $20 and I listened to that thing non-stop. Like, it was just incredible. But it only had 8 tracks on it. But the CD that came out had 2 extra songs on it called Bubonic Plague and Cold Steel. And I was like, what the hell do these songs sound like? I have no idea. I didn't have the CD. I wasn't going to buy the CD. It was too expensive. But I bought the LP for $20 and somehow that album disappeared. No idea where it went. But then I was in JB Hi-Fi one day and I saw the CD. So I bought the CD. This also has Bubonic Plague and Cold Steel. So I was stoked. I finally got to hear them. But the downside was I still didn't have the album on vinyl. So I waited and waited and waited and hoped for a reissue. And then finally, this one came out. I found this at Heartland Records in Melbourne and I was blown away once I saw it was out again because I really do love this record. And like I said, it is my favorite Australian metal album. Now, Australia has had a huge history of metal bands. Some of the most awesome metal that I've ever heard. We've had like great thrash metal like Berserker and Inflictor. We've had like, you know, crazy like metal like Massive Appendage. You remember those guys? You had to buy that record and it came in a paper bag because you know the cover was so offensive. We've had Allegiance, Armored Angel. Remember that band Outrage from Adelaide? They had a demo tape. You know, there's so much stuff going on in Australia. We've had such a great metal history. Slaughter Lord is another one. You know, there were so many bands anyway. So much metal. But myself, HOBBS Angel of Death was the band for me. Love this band. Love this record. Now, this record sounds great. It's a reissue, obviously, but it's like a nice thick cardboard. It's unfortunately not signed, and it never will get signed because sadly, HOBBS himself, Peter HOBBS, has sadly passed away. But he left us a legacy of great records, mainly this first one, this debut LP, which I'm sure will live on as one of the great death metal records. HOBBS Angel of Death had such a big impact on not only me, but my brother as well. We discovered the band through the metal show that was hosted by Mal Capone. He was a local DJ and every Sunday night he did the metal show and he played the song Brotherhood. Now at the time I was a drummer. I was blown away that, you know, the drumming in that is so good. It's like dum 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 dum, and it just blew my mind. And I was like, yeah, this is awesome. And my brother was really into death metal anyway, and so he was a bit older. So we both bought copies of it, if I remember correctly, or maybe I just bought the copy. I don't know, but the album had such a big impact on us that the very first band that I was in, which was a band that I was in with my brother, we actually covered the song Crucifixion. The reason we did that one is because it was the easiest one for me to play on the drums, because I'm a terrible drummer, but at the time I really wanted to be a good drummer, and I couldn't play with the full-on double kick. I couldn't do that. But Crucifixion I could get away with, so I kind of did, and we did a demo recording of it, and if I can find it, I'll insert it into this video or play it at the end for you to check out. But yes, this album really did have a huge effect on me. going through from the start, I mean, like, it starts off with House of Death, which is a great song. I've got to say, the lyrics to this record are actually quite cheesy, but that's what makes it great. Like, you know, they're every cliche that you would possibly want on a band being satanic or whatever. So House of Death, you got Satan's Crusade, Lucifer's Domain, Marie Antoinette, Jack the Ripper, Crucifixion, Brotherhood, Journey, Bubonic Plague, and Cold Steel. It's such a great set of songs. The album flows perfectly. There is no filler tracks. No filler tracks, dudes. Like, this is an album you can just listen from start to finish, and the whole thing is just brilliant. So, yeah, HOBBS Angel of Death, this is a 10 out of 10 metal record. But the cool thing about this LP, besides the fact it's still got the same insert from what I remember, which has got them at the zoo with a kangaroo, which is, you know, it's what you do when you're an Australian band. You know, you've got to have a photo with a kangaroo, right? Cool, of course you do. The album comes on beautiful blood red vinyl. It was released on a label called HR Records, but they included their catalogue for you, and you can look at all the stuff that they released, which is quite a lot. But the thing that I love so much about this record is because I've always loved this cover art. This cover art is just like, it's just classic metal. It's everything that I love about 80s metal on one record cover. 80s metal had so many cheesy record covers, but that's what made 80s metal great. You know, like, I've seen so many, like that Diamond Rex album. You know, the one, the Damned, what is it, Land of the Damned LP? That's a great record cover, as cheesy as it is. What about Kane Roberts with the fucking machine gun guitar? Who, by the way, has just recently rejoined Alice Cooper's band for the next tour. I don't know what happened with Nita Strauss, but she's not in the band anymore. And they've got Kane Roberts back. I really hope that the Kane Roberts lineup eventually comes to Australia, because I would love to see that. But HOBBS, anyway, back to this. This is awesome because you get a poster. Every house needs one, right? Of course you do. But the fact is, they included it in the album, which blows my mind. So thank you, HR Records, for doing that, because the original pressing didn't have that. So I feel that I can do okay without the original pressing, even though it was signed, you know, but whatever. And someone did steal it, which, if you stole my record and you're watching this, not cool, dude. Not cool. I don't know who did it. I wish I did. But anyway, we now get a poster with this record. So I'm pretty happy with that. So yeah, HOBBS Angel of Death. If you've never heard this record, I highly recommend checking it out. I had the chance only one time to see HOBBS Angel of Death, and I actually had the flu and I couldn't go, and it bummed me out because, you know, they're never going to play again. But man, it really bummed me out that I was sick that night. They were playing at the Evelyn Hotel here in Melbourne, and I was just so excited to go. And then I had the flu. I caught the flu that week, and I just felt like absolute shit. And I couldn't go. And I really hate the fact that I missed out on seeing my only time to have seen HOBBS Angel of Death. But anyway, that is my favourite metal album from Australia. What's yours? Put it in the comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if that's what you're into, if you want to see more episodes of me rambling about records. But I will answer one thing. I had somebody recently ask me, what's with the records? Why do they keep changing? This is just the stuff I've been listening to this week. And so I just put it up there. So, you know, I grab it and put it on the turntable. And then, you know, once I finish listening to it, it goes away in the pile. So this is the next stuff that's going to be listened to, or that is being listened to this weekend. So yeah, Ice-T, My Chemical Romance, Exploited, and Lana Del Rey. It's a mixed bag, but that's because that's the kind of guy I am. I just like to mix it up. Different music for different moods, all that sort of stuff. But anyway, thank you for watching once again. I will see you in the next video. Take care and look out for each other, all right? Bye-bye.